Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome to 2014. Today's January the 1st, 2014. Not a whole lot going on here on the home front, so I'm just chilling with the family, and I wanted to sit down and actually share a project that I've wanted to sit down and actually make. I've just had this idea in my head for a while, and let me explain the reason why I've got these rifle cases sitting out. The one here on the left, the black one, is actually from Plano. Picked it up at Walmart. $80. It's a great case, especially for the price and the construction of it. I was actually very surprised with this. This one actually has the pick and plug, as they call it, lining for weapons. So I mean, you could pretty much put and create whatever you want inside here. The other one here on the right is the Pelican case. I believe it's the 1700 or 1720. I can't remember the exact number. Purchased by my beautiful wife as a gift. This one here runs about $240, and that's pretty average price for that one. You know, and however, you do get what you pay for. This one here can withstand a Humvee being run over it, and it floats in the ocean. This one, however, I would not let anything run over with my weapon inside. So, however, it does have a rubber seal inside, and again, let's just be real. How many people's guns are going to be run over by vehicles? So anyway, with that being said, last couple times I've been to the gun range, usually I'll transport my firearm in this one, since this one's not been cut out. Every time I've went to the gun range on my way back home, either my wife has needed me to stop for, you know, something, pick some items up for dinner. I've had to stop at Lowe's or Home Depot to pick up something for a project around the house. And I got to thinking while I was inside, you know, what if the wrong person comes by and happens to see that case sitting in the back of my truck? So I've been pondering on it for a while, and so I started thinking about it. You know, anybody that knows anything about guns knows that these are gun cases. 9 out of 10 times, if these are in a vehicle, they're not going to be empty. So that led me to believe that maybe I was tempting possibly the wrong person to break into my vehicle and actually take these while I was inside. You know, a lot of people will do, you know, a lot of things for a lot less nowadays. The world's definitely not a good place. Definitely not the world I grew up in. So, but anyway, so I started thinking about it. What's a or a discreet way, more discreet way that I could carry my firearms to the range, you know, to my buddy's house if we're maybe working on a weapon for something, installing a new set of optics, whatever. So I had this idea of a guitar case. Now, I know that this has actually been done before. Let me go ahead and pull this over here. I actually picked this up, believe it or not, for $25 at a music store, and this thing is in mint condition. There's not a single scratch on it. So I've got an older, more beat up one, maybe that wouldn't draw probably less attention because the case is in such bad shape. However, I know, and before, let me just go ahead and state this, I know that there's a lot of expensive guitars that cost a lot more than my rifle. And this is the rifle we're going to be making this case for. It is a 14.5 inch with a pin flash suppressor on it. So a little bit shorter than maybe a standard rifle, but I believe it's going to work well for what I want it to. But I really wanted to find one of these guitar cases that had a really nice felt lining inside of it. Let me just go ahead and pop this up. Very beautiful case. Like I said, I don't even think it's ever been used. Really nice padding. It's made in China, but it's really good quality. It's a really firm, hard case as well. It's not like the other one I've got. So, you know, again, I know that there's some individuals that may even be more tempted to steal a musical device versus a weapon. However, I think the chances of one of those sitting in the back of my vehicle would, if the wrong person was to see it, would draw more attention versus the guitar case. Again, it's my own personal opinion on this. Take it as it is, but I just figured I would share as I create this thing to be able to accept what I want it to accept, which is this firearm and some additional magazines. So one of the things that I ordered was, and let me share this company name with you, B&H Photo. They've got a website, bnhphoto.com. They have security systems. They have a huge Pelican case selection. They have all these foam inserts. The one I actually got was for a handgun case that I've already purchased from them, or my wife did actually. This is also pick and plug. I do prefer the ones that you can actually cut versus the pick and plug. I think they're a lot more sturdy. However, these seem to run a little bit less expensive. I actually ordered 2 of them. I'll have to open that one up. And I've got a couple tools that I'm going to be working with. I want to uninstall this piece right here in the middle, which I've actually started on that. But let me go grab a couple other tools and break down my rifle, and we'll get started. Alright, so I've got my rifle broke down and pretty much got this thing set in here the way that I want it. But first, what I had to do is I had to uninstall this piece right here. This is for extra guitar picks or strings, or tools to work on the guitar. So what I've done is on the side here and here there were these eyes. 2 screws, and they had 2 screws. So I just simply uninstalled those on both sides, pulled this out, and just simply moved it. Now, I don't, even though it would be simple for me to drill and reinstall the screws to make this more permanent, I don't want to do that, just for the simple fact that, what if I end up getting a different rifle for it? Maybe I want to put a shotgun in here. Maybe I need something to go the entire width of this. So that's the reason why I don't want to permanently reinstall this. So I think it's just going to be fine just the way that it is. This area down here was my ideal is for the additional magazines. Looks like I can fit about 5 here. I'm not sure exactly how I want to actually load those up. I've tried to fit a handgun in here as well, but it just doesn't seem like I'm going to have enough room. So it looks like that this will be dedicated strictly to the AR. Now in this, I could probably actually put a couple extra tools, some Allen wrenches, maybe even my sling for this. As of right now, I'm running the Magpul MS4 sling, which I'm not sure if I'm really happy with. I may go back to the MS3. So the first thing that I've done is that I do want to get a piece of foam inserted in between these two, so that way I don't have this banging up against my optics as I'm traveling. So what I've done is I took this piece here, flattened it out. Actually, well, I guess it really doesn't matter. I had that inserted, and then I folded it to where I started seeing a crease here where I needed it to be, and then I just simply push my fingers through. And that's actually probably one of the benefits of this one. I don't have to actually use the knife to cut it. I mean, I'm pretty much going to have a straight line. If I need a particular area cut out, all I have to do is just plug or pick a couple squares out, and then I can pretty much form it however I need to. These are actually all flat all the way around, so these will actually have to be cut. The outer edges will have to be cut with a knife. So anyway, I'll go ahead and get started on that, and I'll use this additional piece here more than likely for the insert here, because I do want to make sure that I protect the optics for sure. So I'll get started on that and be back with you guys in just a second. Alright, and what I'm actually doing right now is I've taken one of these extra egg crate pieces here, and like I said, I've got 2 of these, so I think I've got an idea of what I'm going to do with this other piece. But what I'm doing right now is I'm actually just taking my Mora knife, and I'm actually just lining this edge around here. I've almost got the cuts made, and what I'm actually going to be doing is this piece is actually going to go underneath my optics here. This actually has this area on this side of the guitar to protect the body of the guitar. Is actually got some extra cushioning, but it's just not as thick as I'd like it to be. So I think with this right here, I'll be able to give it a little extra protection, against, a hard impact if it was dropped. Maybe I'm on my way to the range and I get rear-ended. That's always a possibility. So let me just go ahead and point out, I've actually was able to install, I've got 5 magazines here. I just stored 3 this way and the other 2 this way, and they actually fit in there really nice and snug. So and I think that that's going to work out exactly for this particular purpose. If you're looking at doing the same thing, just keep this in mind. You may not be able to find a guitar that's got a flared out piece like this for the neck of the guitar, so it may just be more straight. I don't know. I mean, they're all made differently, so just keep that in mind. I am actually considering a violin case as well. This is my first time ever trying anything like this, so I wanted to see how this would work. Honestly, if you had an AR-15 pistol, that would probably work absolutely superb for that type of project. I may actually do another video, but again, I just wanted to see how this one worked out first. Alright, so I pretty much got this thing finished, at least set up to the way that I specifically wanted it. Let's go ahead and open this up, take a look inside. So again, I showed you before, I pretty much had this set up exactly the way that I wanted it here. This worked out perfect for my sling. I've got folded up in there. I've still got room, at least actually a couple inches, that I could put some additional tools, maybe a couple hex keys if I wanted to take with me. You could put, whatever. I mean, you could put a tourniquet inside of here. That way you've always got one with you. If you were going to use this as a safe, you could put some cash in there, a ring, whatever, or jewelry. Again, I had this pretty much cut out specifically to separate these 2 pieces here. This third piece was a little bit more tricky, because what I'd done, again, is I installed one of these that I cut underneath it to give my optics a little bit more protection. And then I had to pretty much cut this to the specifications that I needed it, so that it would fit in here like so. Now, I don't want to glue this in here to make it permanent, because again, if I end up changing weapons, if I want to put a shotgun in here, whatever, I want this stuff to be able to easily be removed. Now, there's a couple little pockets here. You could put maybe even a small med kit to take with you, extra ammo, a little space here, a little space here. One thing I wanted to mention is, maybe you're going to store this possibly at a buddy's house, maybe your extra weapon. You're going to put it in a storage unit, perhaps. Maybe that's what you're using as a place for storage. One thing that I wanted to mention is that if you wanted to, if 5 magazines wasn't enough, you could simply very easily pull a section in the center of this out, and you've got plenty of room there for an additional magazine. So you could actually pull the entire depth of this, and probably realistically, let's see, the thickness of that, you could at least put 2 additional AR-15 magazines there. Or one possible option that you could do as well is that you could, if you were to actually run them this way, you could actually get 3. So you could have a total of up to 8 magazines inside this case. So there's my discreet, easy way to carry my rifle to the range. Doesn't draw too much attention from nosy neighbors. They're not going to know any difference, and they're not going to expect to see anything, or to expect anything except a guitar in this thing. Now, what you could also do is you could throw on a couple stickers on here, a couple rock band stickers, just to give it a little bit flair. Might be a very possible option for you. It's well secure in there. It's not going to slide around, make a lot of noise, or move, so I don't have to worry about my optics really getting damaged in the process. Let me actually show you this other one, the one that I was referring to. It's in pretty bad shape, but considering what I paid for it, a whole $5 at a pawn shop, This thing's in pretty rough shape. All this outer casing is very weak. It's very flimsy. You'll actually see here, it looks like that there was some kind of, I'm not actually sure, there was something else that was installed here that's been removed. You know, the threads are starting to come off in a lot of places. You know, again, this one's cracked here. This one's in pretty rough shape. So, you know, again, this might be something that you want to throw people off just a little bit, if that's how you want to carry. However, keep this in mind, if you go this route, if you decide to go this route, let me pop these off, or pop these open. There's no padding here. There's absolutely no padding on the underneath or even on the sides. You can see how thin that is. It's very flimsy. There's a very, very thin felt lining in it. This piece here might be usable in my existing one if I wanted to do a permanent placement for that. However, the one that I've got just seems to work really good. So I may end up giving this to a friend. So anyway, this is another option for you. But again, if you decide to go this route, you're going to have to buy a lot of foam to fill this entire area in order to really protect your firearm. So just keep that in mind. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that maybe there's something that you can find useful from it. And until the next time, guys, have a great day.